Well, the Porsche Panamera has always been a bit of an oddity, some even say odd looking. In luxury car circles it was questioned whether it was a sports car masquerading as a limousine or a limousine masquerading as a sports car. Whatever the case, Porsche believes in the concept and has followed it up with this second generation model that has literally just landed in Australia. So let's find out the improvements Porsche has made to its flagship limousine or sports car.
Like before, Porsche's flagship limousine will be offered across a wide model range that currently starts with the eponymous rear-drive Panamera at $210,000 plus on-road costs. It rises through to the all-wheel drive 4S, the SE Hybrid, 4S Diesel and the range-topping Turbo that costs $376,900. The Panamera, Panamera 4S and Panamera Turbo are available in Australia right now, with more models to come during the year, as well as a similar spread over a new wagon-esque body style that takes inspiration from the Sport Turismo concept a few years ago. The Panamera 4S's 3-litre twin-turbo V6 is probably all the engine you'll ever need, with 324 kilowatts of power between 5,650 and 6,600 RPM and 550 Newton meters of pulling power on tap from just 1,750 RPM. It can slingshot the all-wheel drive limo from 0 to 100 Ks in 4.2 seconds and has a claimed average fuel consumption of 8.1 litres per 100 kilometres.
Personally, I liked the original Porsche Panamera. While Porsche was obviously trying to play on that 911 heritage and that swoopy back end, I thought it was something different, and that, I admired. This generation though, they've refined the design a little bit. There's a sleeker roof line. They've taken some height out of the back of it, but there's no less rear space. In fact, there is nothing that carries over from that original Panamera into this car. Everything about it is new. Dimensionally, it is slightly longer. The wheelbase is stretched and it's marginally wider and marginally lower. And that's all in the name of, again, just refining that shape, but also without compromising its interior space, because this is genuinely meant to be a 4-seater limousine. And in that role, it actually does a pretty good job. There is a fair amount of space back there for 2 adults to sit quite comfortably. And now they have some really high-tech stuff to play with back there. There's a capacitive touchscreen that can control the air conditioning, the sat-nav, some of the functions up here in the front. And speaking of which, this dash and center console is much more luxurious and much more premium and modern and technologically advanced than the last one, which had this cascading row of buttons everywhere. It was a bit overkill, but now it's got this beautiful glass look, or piano black look, with haptic buttons to it that are touch sensitive. Even the air vents are controlled via this 12.3-inch digital touchscreen in the middle here. It's all these new modern touches inside the Panamera that really amplify its luxury status rather than its sports car status anymore. It really brings it up into a different league as a genuine luxury car rather than just trying to be a stretched 911, so to speak.
But for those that simply need more and have more cash, the Panamera Turbo I'm driving right now is on another level. Its 4-litre twin-turbo V8 generates 404 kilowatts and 770 Newton meters, which gives it genuine supercar pace. It can cover the 0 to 100 km/h sprint in 3.6 seconds and tops out over 300 k's an hour. And yet it still sips less than 10 kilometers per 100 k's. Well, that is when you drive it gently.
It is effortless at cruising speeds, like we're literally just humming along here at 1100 revs. In fact, it's gone back to a V4 cylinder engine to save fuel. But as you'd expect from a Porsche, it can do this. Simply press a button, it's ready, and oh! God, it's fast. This thing can accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in around 3.7 seconds. Genuine supercar territory. And with 3-stage adaptable air suspension, it is also supremely comfortable when you want it to be, but genuinely quick between the bends when you need it to be. The steering is great. It hangs on with such tenacity. Those big 21-inch wheels with sticky rubber on them, they've got plenty of grip. It's also much quieter than before and much more efficient than before, but it doesn't come cheap. This is about $500,000 on the road, the flagship 911 Turbo, so you'd expect it to be pretty damn good, and it is. Well, as you'd expect, this second generation Porsche Panamera is even better than the original.
As a sports car, this flagship turbo model is faster and more angrier and just such a great driver's car. But you know what? It's an even better luxury car.